All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Michael Music, and I am currently 23 years old. I've been reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, for some time now. And the chapter that I want to talk about today is on decision and decision making. And personally, I think this is the biggest chapter in the book. Now, what I want to talk about today is probably just a few one-liners from this chapter that are so critical yet so powerful. I think after 124 episodes going through this book, I think this page that I'm going to read was one of the most powerful ones for me. And every time I read it, I get reminded of, okay, where am I at in making decisions? So so I'm reading it just off my phone for right now. I don't have the book with me, but chapter 7, decision, the mastery of procrastination. Okay, the mastery of procrastination. We're gonna learn. We're gonna chat a little bit about how does procrastination and decision come into play. So Napoleon Hill, he said that careful analysis of thousands of men and women revealed that lack of decision was near the head of the list of the 30 major causes of failure. Okay, so think of this like if you are failing, right? What is the reason for the failure, right? What um what do you think is the biggest reason that you're failing now? Is it that you didn't make a committed decision? Now, we're going to talk about procrastination right now. He says procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every individual must conquer. So think about this. All right, there's two twin brothers. Okay, you got procrastination and you got indecision. Right? He said in a previous chapter where one is found, you can also find the other very closely nearby. So for me personally, I have found that this principle right here, lack of making a committed decision, was possibly the biggest reason I'm not at where I want to be in my life right now. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading. He says you will have an opportunity to test your capacity to reach quick and definite decisions when you finish reading this book and are ready to begin putting into action the principles which it describes. Okay, he says analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing these decisions slowly if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly and of changing these decisions quickly and often. Okay, I want to pause on that paragraph because that's something worth talking about. When I said uh, this was the most powerful idea that I believe I found in this book, it's this idea right here. The people that really made it, right? He said what? He said that they have the habit, right? What does that mean to have the habit? It means that it's automatic. They don't even think about it. They just know how to make decisions. And I really gave this some thought. Okay, why do the most successful people know how to make decisions on the fly? It's because they know exactly what it is that they want. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back and go to one of the first principles that Napoleon Hill talks about, which is definite major purpose, right? What is it that you truly want? What is, your major definite purpose for where you're going? Especially, Napoleon Hill, I noticed as I read it this year, he mentioned that you want to have a definite major purpose for this year, right? Right now we're in January. Where exactly do you want to be by December of this year? What is your definite goal that you set out? Right? Are you following what's laid out in the chapter on desire to follow the 6 major steps, to write your goal card, and to get emotionally involved in that goal card every day, and not only visualize what you want, but visualize what you're going to give for what you want. So keep this in mind, right? Like poor people or people that aren't where they want to be, let's say, they have the habit of making decisions very slowly and of changing these decisions quickly and often. Have you made a decision to step into the unknown and actually go for something that you wanted, go for a goal, and you didn't decide right on the spot, and so after that indecision, what happened, right? You gave it some time. You're like, okay, I'm gonna give it some time. And what happens when you don't decide right on the spot? Well, there's three things that happen, or there's two more things that happen, right? So if you don't decide on the spot, there's going to be I think he talks about this in the Sixth Sense. He says that fear and doubt start creeping in, right? You don't make a decision. Next thing you know, you start doubting, like, oh, was this ever even possible? Like, this is something for me. There's some things I didn't make a decision on. And, I had a ton of confidence when I was right up to the point of making the decision. And I didn't make the decision and I gave it some time. So, what happened when I didn't make the decision? Well, first thing is, okay, you start to doubt the idea, you start to doubt the goal of what you want. And then the second thing was that doubt, what it will do, it's a tiny little seedling. It will actually crystallize into what is known as fear. So it's really interesting. I can actually give a whole video on this idea right now, but this is something that he mentions in the chapter on the Sixth Sense, on how indecision, fear, and doubt are so closely related, right? You don't understand, like, why am I so scared of my goal when I wasn't, a year ago? And it's because you didn't make a decision. So what's it going to take to truly master this philosophy and truly get what you want? Well, it's going to take decision making skills. And the good news is that these skills on decision making, right, you can develop even if you aren't well at making like firm definite decisions at the moment. And so what is the prerequisite, right? If you are watching this video and you're like, okay, making decisions, I understand there's some value here, but how do I get started in making decisions? Well, let's go back, right? What is it that you truly want, right? What is your major purpose? What is it that you want? And then we can go from there. So, okay, now we're going to talk about something next. We're going to talk about the opinions of others. So, Napoleon Hill says on the next page in this chapter, the majority of people who fail to accumulate money sufficient for their needs are in general easily influenced by the opinions of others. They permit the newspapers and the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. Okay, why may what is an opinion, right? It is just it's almost like a prejudiced thought, right? And what does prejudice mean? It means prejudging. So what is an opinion? It's just something you say because you haven't even given any thought to it. So he says opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon anyone who will accept them. If you are influenced by the opinions of others, when you reach decisions, he says this is him saying it, you will not succeed in any undertaking, much less in that of transmuting your own desire into money. Okay, that was deep. I'm going to take a step back. He said, if you are influenced by the opinions of others, by, what's going on, I guess, like, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're in school, and like, the fact is, like, so many people got a flock of opinions. If you are influenced by the opinions of others, whether that be on social media or whatnot, you will not succeed in any undertaking, right? So what's the idea here? Right? At the end of the day, these are principles to get what you want, right? I don't care what it is that you want. If you follow this book, he's saying that you can have it. And if you're going to listen to the opinions of maybe friends and family who are who are probably saying, dude, that's not possible. Like, who do you think you are for even thinking that you can achieve that goal? If you listen to their opinions, right, you will not succeed in converting your desire into its equivalent physical counterpart, which is money. So that's an interesting conversation. It's worth coming back because this is another thing that my mentor talks about, which is called addiction to approval, right? And it's really caring about what other people think of you. I want to take a sidestep. Now, I'm not the best at this, but I did hear this. It was a quote. It was by one mentor. His name was Bob Proctor, and he actually said, what you think of me is none of my business. And what does he mean by that? He means, I have no right to really consider what you think of me, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I should be only focused on what I think of myself. Okay, let's keep reading because I still got some more highlights. Furthermore, on the note of opinions, he says, if you are too easily influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own. If you are too easily influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own. Keep your own counsel when you begin to put into practice the principles described in this book by reaching your own decisions and following them. Take no one into your confidence except the members of your mastermind group, and be very sure in your selection of this group that you choose only those who will be in complete sympathy and harmony with your purpose. Okay, so we're going to bring another principle into this chapter. It's the mastermind principle, right? Who is a part of your mastermind? Who's a part of your inner circle? Who is in harmony with your goal, right? So for me, I had to personally make my circle much smaller, much more tight, right? I don't tell all my friends about what I'm doing now because what are they going to do? They're going to give me their opinion, right? Their prejudiced thoughts, and it's only gonna, what is that going to do? It's going to just stop me from advancing towards my goal. So what he's suggesting here is that through the mastermind principle, you really tighten up your circle. You have individuals that are in harmony with your goals, and those are the people you tell them what your plans are that you're going to take action on. And we'll dive more into the mastermind principle down the road, but hear what I'm saying, right? If you just tell the whole world what you're going to do, believe me, I've done that and it doesn't work. You're going to get hit with backlash, and then that's where the indecision will come, the fear or the doubt, and then soon the fear will come. And you'll be wondering, "Oh, why did I even think that was possible in the first place?" So that's really important. Now, on the note of close friends and relatives, he says, while not meaning to do so, they often handicap one through opinions and sometimes through ridicule, which is meant to be humorous. All right. Thousands of men and women carry inferiority complexes with them all through life because of some well meaning but ignorant person destroyed their confidence through opinions or ridicule. You have a brain and a mind of your own. Use them and reach your own decisions. Now keep this. What I'm about to say right here. This has actually been one of the most beneficial tips, besides what I just read on the first page about how the rich, successful people reach decisions quickly and promptly. They have the habit of it. Another idea that is so key. He says, if you need facts or information from other people to enable you to reach decisions, as you probably will in many instances, acquire these facts or secure the information you need quietly without disclosing your purpose. Okay, what does that mean, right? Get what you need, right? We talked about specialized knowledge. Get the facts, get the information that you need to get further, like organize your knowledge and or specialize your knowledge, develop that into organized planning, but don't this is also important for me to know. Don't tell the world why you need this. Don't tell them that, hey, I need to learn X because Y, right? It's only gonna cause people to either give their opinion to you, or even furthermore, we'll keep reading. It is sorry, that was a little not English there, but you'll see that everyone's trying to make money, and some people might take your plans or purpose. Okay, finally, he says it is characteristic of people who have but a smattering or a veneer of knowledge to try to give the impression that they have too much knowledge. Such people generally do too much talking and too little listening. Keep your eyes and ears wide open and your mouth closed if you wish to acquire the habit of prompt decision. Those who talk too much do little else. If you talk more than you listen, you not only deprive yourself of many opportunities to accumulate useful knowledge, but you also disclose your plans and purposes to people who will take great delight in defeating you because they envy you. Okay. Are you right? Couple things here. This was so cool, so critical to understand. Are you telling people freely what you plan to do? Are you giving your plans away? Maybe you do got $1 million idea and you are just giving it away to the world because you can't keep your mouth closed, right? The idea here is to truly um, listen, gather the information that you need, but when it comes down to it, don't give your plans out. So okay, let me finish this here. He says, remember also that every time you open your mouth in the presence of a person who has a abundance of knowledge, you display to that person your exact stock of knowledge or your lack of it. Genuine wisdom is usually conspicuous through modesty and silence. Keep in mind the fact that every person with whom you associate is like yourself, seeking the opportunity to accumulate money. If you talk about your plans too freely, you may be surprised when you learn that some other person has beaten you to your goal by putting it into action ahead of you, the plans that of which you talked unwisely. Let one of your first decisions, okay, right now, you can make this decision to keep a closed mouth and open ears and eyes. All right. And finally, he wraps this chapter up with, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. This is the equivalent of saying that deeds and not words are what count the most. Wow. So that was the conversation on decision making. Um, right. Couple key points there, right? We talked about what rich people, the true people that master this philosophy, they have the habit of reaching decisions quickly and promptly and changing them slowly because they know exactly what they want, right? When you know what you want, you can start to develop a better habit of making decisions. And finally, we spoke about the opinions of others. That's probably what's going to tear you down the most as you step out away from the crowd and really go after what you want. I know for a fact that's what's really causing me to slow down the most. And so that's why he suggests the idea of the mastermind, which we'll get into at a later point. So that's the conversation I wanted to have today on decision making. This chapter is so powerful, and I'm going to leave it there. So thank you all for watching, and until we meet again in time and space, bye everybody. I'll see you.